if you're in any type of leadership role, and I'd argue everyone to some degree is, if you're a parent, if you're a coach, if you're a business owner, if you're a teacher, you're a leader, you're leading others. If you cannot effectively communicate your message, effectively articulate your thoughts, and do it in a way that people actually want to listen and understand and are entertained by it, you're crippling your leadership. That's what you're doing. So how are you going to raise children if they don't listen? You can't effectively speak to them, influence them. How are you going to build a company? You can't. And so by default, people who do not know how to effectively public speak or just speak in general, communicate well, they will follow the person who can. So if your goal, and that's okay too, by the way, but if the goal is for you to develop leadership and become someone of leadership in your life, well, the first thing you should be working on is communication, speaking. That makes sense. Like that's what I believe.
Communication is everything. I mean, it's relationships, your family, your friends. It's interviewing for a job. The communication comes in everywhere. So getting that as a base level with the public speaking or being a solid communicator, super important. What do you think are the top traits that the most powerful speakers in the world possess? Some traits we can aspire to develop.
I'll say off the bat is entertainment, which is linked to humor. Think of all the greatest speakers you know. They're funny. The greatest. Majority of them. Very minority of them are very just inspiring. There's no humor to it. They're just inspiring. They get you emotional, which would be my second thing, by the way, which is your ability to elicit emotion from the audience. You're an inspiring speaker. If you're not funny, you better be inspiring. If you're not inspiring, you better be funny. If you can, do both, which is what I've mastered over 5 years. Because I realized it's the adjustability, it's the flexibility of knowing who you're talking to. Here, I could be a little bit funny, or I could be very inspiring. And the third is clarity, man. And clarity is built off two things, though: being concise, brief, and being clear in your message, right? I have a whole show called Clear Talk for that very reason, because I think people's minds are so busy and confused. It cripples their results in life, any type of results. If you're not clear with what you're trying to say, and you can't say in a brief manner, you're not going to communicate effectively. So someone who takes 17 lines to say one thing, usually will lose an audience. But someone who could say one thing and that means 1,000 words, will captivate every audience they speak to. So humor, so entertainment, inspiration, so the ability to inspire or elicit emotion from the audience. And the last one is just brevity and clarity, like being concise. And that's really good communication. So secret is less is more.
Jordan Peterson says that the more the speaker understands the content, the more freedom they have to have a sense of humor. He says for him, when he's joking more on stage, he knows that he really understands his stuff. It's like he doesn't have to be defensive because he doesn't know it all. So he says that's a good sign of a great speaker, is sense of humor, which means that they've prepared enough to have the guard down and to not feel like they need to be taken so seriously. So
that's really deep. I agree with that. Yeah, Hunter, never thought about that, but it's true. Like when you see someone's funny, that means they're comfortable. They're comfortable that they're certain in what they're saying.
Apparently,
certainty. Ooh, I'll bring this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Certainty. If there's a fourth element, certainty. Ooh, but certainty encompasses all of it: the humor, the inspiration, and the brevity. But certainty is what you want from a good speaker. You don't want them to ever feel like, if they even show a sign of uncertainty, you lose everybody. But see, what is that? Leadership. Leadership is you follow someone who's more certain than you in something. Public speaker has to be certain, no matter what. Has to display certainty in themselves and what they're saying, and then what the audience wants. Big, huge thing. Thanks for sharing that with me.